Hey everybody, it's Patrick from the Mass Store Knife Shop, coming to you today with another review on the Red River Skinner from Naylor Forge. One of our favorite local builders, Ashton Naylor. Comes in a really nice box, you can see right there. Ashton's been around since 2010 as far as building knives. He did spend 32 years in the service, and 25 of that was in the Special Forces. One of our favorite builders. I really love this knife, the Red River Skinner. Look how beautiful that looks. That's gorgeous. This particular handle is curly maple, and I've got another one to show you in just a second, but this is beautiful. I love the shape of this knife. Ashton builds a lot of stuff very rustic, and one of the cool things about Ashton is we have a number of knife builders that do handmade knives that are local. He's the only guy that hand forges. So pretty cool. He's still going old school and really does some beautiful work, as you can see. This particular knife, as you might imagine by the shape, built for hunting, skinning, camping, anything that's out there in the woods, it could take care of. But originally, because you can see with that trailing point blade, that was built originally for skinning. Obviously, Red River Skinner is the name. But people who come and buy it don't necessarily hunt with it. They can also just use it on a campsite. So that's pretty cool. As far as the build on this, it's got a black oxide finish on it to avoid glaring and also protect from the elements. It does come with a lanyard on the back end. You guys that watch my videos know that I'm a lanyard fool. I love lanyards on knives. The sheath that comes with this, he makes himself. He's got a leather shop in his forge. It's really beautiful, hand tooled. This is bridle leather, so it's really top end leather. He doesn't want anything to be breaking down over the years, so this stuff will really last for the years. All of his sheaths have artwork, and there's a friend of his from the military that does the artwork for him, so that's really cool. But old school's got the belt loop right there. Really nicely done as far as that goes. I just feel like it's one of the better knives. You'll notice the full tang is pretty hefty as far as the feel goes, but when you drop it in your hand, like almost everything he builds, it's a natural fit. You'll notice this finger stop right here. So when you're using this knife right there, nothing's going to slip up on the blade. That's kind of a cool thing with him. You notice also he's got his stamp on this side, Naylor Forge, and on the flip side, Special Forces stamp. Really cool. Big favorite of the customers that come into the Mass Store Knife Shop. They really do love his work. We actually run into a lot of the people who serve with him in the military, and they just have wonderful things to say about him. So fairly cool. As far as the specs, pricing, and links to purchase this, they're going to be in the description down below. So after we're done, you go ahead and take a look at that and maybe pick one up while you're still thinking about it. Now, as far as weight goes for this, 5.7 ounces is not overly weighted for an outdoorsman's, woodsman's knife. So don't feel like this is going to be, even though it's got a really nice thick tang there, don't feel like it's going to be overweighted for you. As far as size goes, take a look at the length there. We're looking at 8.25, 8.25 inches. Pretty comfortable size for wearing on your hip. Cutting edge for this is going to be right around 3.75. So from tip to your edge of the cutting edge, plenty to work with if you're skinning out an animal or if you're just going to use it on a campsite for all kinds of other things. Really nicely done. I really love this knife, and he's a favorite of ours from the knife shop. He's been with us almost since we opened the knife shop and always been great to us, taking care of us. Comes in at $274.99 as far as cost, and I think that's worth every penny. I think for what it does and how it does it, it is built with 52-100 steel. So what is that? That originally was given its birth as an aeronautical ball bearing steel. That tells you how tough it is. I really feel like that's what his whole purpose was, being an ex-military guy. Everything needs to be ready to get beaten and still stand up there. So let's take a look on the steel chart. 52-100. As you know, we do a steel chart with edge retention, toughness, and corrosion resistance. So you can kind of see how your blade will stand up for what it's being used for. 52-100, high carbon steel. Edge retention is pretty good, actually, when you think about it, because high carbon has a tendency to not have great edge retention, but this really does really well. Where it stands out, as you can see, is toughness. That's what it's all about. That's at 8.5 out of 10. So that's phenomenal. Of course, for corrosion resistance, because of the high carbon content, it's pretty low. So you want to make sure when you store it away between trips out into the brush or wherever you're going to be using it, use some Hops 9 or any kind of light oil to oil up the blade before you put it away. It's pretty simple, just like you take care of any of your gear when you're coming in from outdoors. Now, I do know, I like the fact that he used the curly maple. He uses that on most of his knives. He also does another variation. This is burlap micarta. Take a look at that. That's beautiful. Basically, what they're using is burlap layered in up to 60 layers, hardened with resin. And what makes this better maybe than, say, the wooden handles is the fact that wood over time has a tendency to dry out maybe, chip a little bit, crack a little bit. This will never. This is tough as nails forever. So a lot of the guys that come in and buy these knives will lean towards this burlap micarta just because it's going to be a tougher piece to have out in the brush. So he gives you an option of either one, and we got them both at the Mass Store Knife Shop. So that's it for the Red River Skinner from Naylor Forge. I hope you found this information helpful. Before you go, please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our future content. That's it for today. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.